The YTP is a form of video on the internet which takes pieces of media and heavily edits them to provoke an emotional response much more different from that intended of the original unedited media. For the most part, these videos have been used for comedy. A skilled YTPer can take any video and mold it through the use of editing into a hilarious showcase of absurdity. But while these videos have been thought of mostly as silly internet posts, I think there is more to them than most of us realize. You know that one commenter who ironically responds to a funny video with "This is art"? Well, today I'm going to be that commenter, except this time I will be taking that phrase seriously. YTPs usually boil down to two types of editing: sentence mixing and visual manipulation. Sentence mixing is where the editor takes audio of someone speaking, chops it up, and stitches it together in various ways to create an entirely different message. Visual manipulation is a lot more complicated and varied. Usually there is the use of filters, text, repeating a scene or frame, or simply using a barrage of green screen effects. But even so, there are hundreds of other techniques that I could never cover in this single video. Like in all art, there are different styles and types of YTPs and YTPers. Here are some of my favorites. The first is one of the most well-known YTPers in the community, CS188, who uses a classic style of YTP whose videos feature an even amount of sentence mixing and visual comedy. He has had a lot of experience in YTPs and is very skilled in what he does. His craft has been perfected and refined so much that he can remix almost any video into something hilarious. Then there are people like Hunter23 who skillfully use still frames and more subtle editing to create some of the funniest YTPs I've seen on YouTube. And of course, we have the edits of Lord Jake, who has a more elegant type of video where he uses mostly sentence mixing to create subtle, but also shockingly funny political satires. And then we have people like Numberer1, who also take a more classical style of YTP, but is more of a hit and miss channel, with a collection of videos which can vary from mediocre to godly. And there are still thousands upon thousands of YTPers who I haven't mentioned in this video, but still pour lots of entertainment into the community. But there are some users who have taken the idea of the YTP and molded it into something past comedy. One such user is Jailerbo, who also has comedic YTPs which feature enormous amounts of fast-paced editing. However, Jailerbo sometimes organizes videos which I find just fascinating. They call them ambience collabs, in which various YTPers come together and produce a video not for comedy, but as some sort of audio-visual art. These edits often group together aesthetics and pop culture, and blend it into a presentation of what I can only describe as avant-garde music videos. Here's a little sample of one of their collabs. The experimental collab is intriguing and holds a lot of potential in taking the YTP and turning it into something beautiful. But sadly, there has been a decline in YTPs recently, and while this is troubling, there are still plenty of people creating these videos every day, and supporting them is one of my goals. Unlike most silly videos, these often take lots of effort to create. Editing these videos is often tedious, but the end product is hilarious and entertaining if it is done well. But trust me, there is no shortage of really terrible YTPs out there too. The stalest of these videos are ones that often have extremely overused jokes and obnoxious amounts of ear rape. In other words, things that you would probably see in most dank meme compilations. But the true enemy of a good YTP is extreme repetition. Now, repetition in a YTP can often be very helpful in short bursts, especially if you use it as an occasional running joke. But oh boy, I have seen so many YTPs completely die because some people just don't know when to stop. It kinda reminds me of what most humor is like on the internet. Dumb, unfunny, shallow, cancerous. But while there are some bad eggs, when it comes to YTPs, they are probably some of the most diverse videos on the internet. Unlike the terrible and annoying memes that we constantly shove into each other's faces, YTPs feel a bit more natural. They actually require effort, and many of their creators are very passionate about what they do, often experimenting and finding new ways to make us laugh, and in some cases, fascinate us. The YTP is one of the best internet creations I have seen so far, and hopefully in the future, more people will support and contribute to the strange and ridiculous community it has developed. Anyway, my name is Solar Sands, and Goodbye.